Alright, what's up, VC? Just hanging out, listening to some music, having my daily coffee. Technically, this is like my, almost my third cup. So I'm like, just ready to, I got wings, ready to fly. Alright, I was, just been listening to some of my recent finds that I got out in the wild. I told you on my last episode, if you watched it, how I basically went through the whole jazz section of this one spot that I go to a lot. And just going through, not trying to rush it. I was just looking at the backs of most of the records, trying to see what record labels they were and stuff. And one of the ones I found was this Paul Winter. Winter Consort. Icarus. Super, really good record. Has, Billy Cobham on drums, or like I said, Ralph Towner was the two people I recognized. But has Barry Altschul. My drummer for my blues band had mentioned this guy. He was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of this guy in percussion's also on here." Oh no, Colin Walcott. Sorry. And I was like, yeah, he is on here, actually. Anyways, it's a really stony album. If you find this, swoop it up. There's a few songs that are so-so. It's really got a strong movie soundtrack vibe to it. Dogs all tripping on guitars. And, but overall, the songs that are fire are super fire. Really enjoy it. Super stoked. And again, I was actually stayed up till 5 a.m. listening to like at 4 I started putting, 4 I started putting on like some old, just punk albums I haven't listened to in a while. And it's like I have so many different genres in my collection. So I'll just go through phases where I'm like, there's usually one genre, like, it seems like blues and jazz is the one genre I'm consistently listening to the most, always, like, but then I always mix in everything else. I mean? It's like, I like to, like right now I got the Cannibal Corpse going right now, but I had some AFI going earlier, and then I was playing some Youth Brigade before that, and then in the night at 5 a.m. I was playing some Down by Law. And this is one of those albums that somehow I just ended up with. I don't remember getting this one. This is somehow ended up in my collection a long time ago. It's on Epitaph. I was just looking at to see who's playing on it, or who. It's curious to see who produced it. And guess who mastered this album? Alan Yoshida. Well, we know who. Where did he also master? Well, a lot of the Blue Note stuff. He did not. This is not the classic series, but this is the one that came out in 2014. I think the 75th anniversary edition or whatever they want to call it. But yeah, it's Alan Yoshida. I think it's a pretty good mix considering the album isn't that expensive. I got it for very cheap. So, but yeah, did a great job on this. And I was never this is one of those bands I didn't like a lot back when back when I was a teenager. But listening to this last night or 5 a.m. this morning, cranking up loud enough that my nearest neighbors could probably hear, but they're cool. Sounds really good, actually. I was really impressed. I'm glad I hung on to it for all these years. But anyways, just thought it was a weird connection. Man, this Tony Williams album. Whoa. It's very like Mahavishnu Orchestra without the violin and all the other instruments. Just guitar, bass, drums, and keyboard. And man, totally trippy. Not like your typical jazz fusion. It's real gritty, unpredictable, some cool catchy riffs. The drumming is phenomenal, and it's my friend was kind of mentioning that Tony Williams was putting out some weird trippy stuff, also, and like I said, I don't have any of his solo stuff. Seems like a lot of the it seems like all the drummers that compose music, their music's always a lot more unique. And I feel like it's because they're a drummer they have like so much more rhythmic variety in their mind that they end up just writing this music that's more unique to a percussionist or something. And I could be wrong with this, but I feel like Billy Cobham, he has a very distinct sound. Besides just his drumming, his music is badass. I love Billy Cobham. But then, like, even I'm gonna forget his name right now. But his record right here. Yeah, Ginger Baker. His solo stuff is fire. I almost like Ginger Baker's solo stuff better than his Cream stuff. Like, they're not. I love Cream. They're great. But at this phase, what I like listening to, Ginger Baker's solo stuff is fire. And so, well, I only have 2 of the records. I'm pretty sure he has other stuff, but the 2 that I have, really killer. So we have like Billy Cobham, you have Ginger Baker, you have this Tony Williams album that's fire. Just interesting. So it's cool. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged because this riff is very recognizable in the background right now. It's kind of a corpse doing some Metallica. Anyways, this album, it was super cheap. Album was like in mint condition, really good quality. I pulled the vinyl out. The vinyl was like brand new. And I previewed it in the store. Was blown away from what I was reading. It's basically like a one-step. It says direct cutting equipment. It's direct cutting. It's all it shows is a cool picture right here of it being direct cut. So I was thinking, well, that's basically like a one-step, right? So for how cheap it was, it sounded great. This is a really good record. So highly recommend getting this. You can probably find this for $5 at your spot. Just because, yeah, I mean, the album cover looks like it's going to be some ice skating fucking synthesizer, drum machine music that has some, that would, I'm sure Stunt Rock Confusion would have 5 copies of that. And I would probably buy one for a lot of money after the fact, he plays it on his channel because it's badass. But that's not what this is. This is some like crazy smooth, super jazz, piano, super good on this. All of it's good, just a trio, hence 3. But Joe Sample is killing it, and Manha du Carnival. Yeah, I can't read any of this stuff, I swear. Sorry, guys. Is right now my favorite song. The whole record's really good, but the Surface Noise, like, how the fuck did these people make an album a one-step and then now it sells for like $5 to $10? Who knows? The mystery's out there. So like it's and that's the whole thing. I did an episode a while back about the hype. Do we fall for it? Yeah, falling for the hype a bunch. But usually the records are worth it. But if you can't afford to fall for the hype, don't beat yourself up because you don't need a one-step. Like even the Stevie Ray Vaughan one-step. Some people were like, oh, I have it. Sounds great. But what doesn't sound better on it is the guitar. The guitar they totally slacked on. You can put on an original pressing that you can get that I got for like $5.89 back in the day. And it sounds way better than the one step. Especially the guitar. The dynamics, they took a shit ton of the dynamics out. It's every time I hear it gets worse and worse. It gets more noticeable. And like I tell people, play Tin Pan Alley on the original issue. Just do a shootout. You'll hear immediately, just in the first minute, just listen to the guitar closely. He goes all quiet on the picking hand to lighten up the guitar. Gets a little, you can definitely hear the guitar get quieter, and then he starts coming hot. Starts hitting the strings really heavy on purpose. So much so that it starts to distort the guitar. It overdrives the guitar on its own, not the speakers. It's overdriving the guitar in the pickups area. Combined with his Tomb Screamer, so it gives it more of that grit. So it loses a lot of that in the one step. So don't worry if don't fall for the hype. You can go, you can go get a one step or a UHQR for hundreds of dollars, or you can go get this for $5 or $10. Just how it is. That's what's cool about vinyl. It's still even though a lot of this, like Alice in Chains now is worth hundreds of dollars, $245, which is insane. Um, you can still go to a record store with like $20, 10 or $20, and come out with a couple albums come out with a couple, some heat. Now you can even get more than that, just depending on, I mean, if you getting $2, $3 here, you can get a little stack going. So that's, the price of vinyl hasn't completely pushed out everybody, thankfully. And like I've said, I've been trying to spend less on vinyl, and I'm not like overspending to where I'm not being able to eat here, but the main thing is just being able to soak in all the vinyl. Like, I'm just going through, just going through a collection, just randomly, like, so, you get so easy getting records on top of records on top of records. It's easy to forget, like, holy crap, I was just so into this other album, like, last year, and I didn't forget about it, but, more stuff got piled on top of it to where you haven't thought about it in a while. So, and gosh, I was looking at I have a lot of punk albums. I have my punk and my 80s kind of side by side. And back when I was younger, it was a lot. But now that I'm older, it's like there's so much punk stuff I'm missing that just, right off I could go right now and, for sure, like, I'm not saying a bunch, but like 20 to 30 right away, I definitely right off the bat, start, if they have it, I would grab it. But that being said, instead of thinking, damn, there's a lot of punk stuff I'm missing that I want to hear on vinyl, I was going through I was kind of rearranging my stuff last night. Which stuff is, I felt categorized similar to other stuff like, Fear, next to like Angry Samoans, stuff like that. And I was like, wow, I already have a lot. And then, my dogs, they're like jumping in between my guitars. Hey, as long as you're fine. Just as long as you're not chewing on them, you're good. Okay? You're good? All right. But yeah, the punk, I was like, wow, just going through them last night. The one thing I will say, some of these records, really good condition, but my dog and her chew toys, really good condition, but dusty. Some of these ones, like when I was younger, and I had some of these records I got when I was in my teens. I've been collecting records consistently since I was 17, but I had a stack. I was collecting off and on since I was in elementary school before then. But I would leave my records on the turntable. With the lid up, whatever. So when we lived right by these big fields, so they're very dusty areas sometimes. So sometimes I pull out some of these old records, and the case is in good condition, and the record you can tell is in good condition, but it's just dirty. Not like unplayable dirty, but compared to how I, keep my records today, holy crap, a little disappointed in myself. Not all of them, a majority, I would say, from back in the day, like 90% of them I did great, but there's like 10% that I let chill. Now, the cool thing is, I played the crap out of these records, so I would just listen to them every day. I would just leave them on the turntable, flip, I had this one turntable for so long that I really wasn't so concerned about, like, if the record was a little dirty. Tell you, once you get a real fancy turntable, you're more kind of worried about how dirty the record is on a new stylus and stuff like that. Or more like stuff you just think about more. You keep in mind as you. And I blame kind of the vinyl community itself, but it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really noticing like how clean my records were, and a lot of the channels like, the tips on, and so either way, and like I say, getting a fancier turntable just really makes you magnify everything that you're putting onto it. So yeah, so any of my advice, I'll probably do a video where, like, with tips for new collectors, but I would just, and any veteran knows this, don't leave your damn records on your turntable after a year. When you're done playing it, put it immediately back in the case. I feel like too, what you can keep almost record once it's done playing, you don't right away back. When it sits there, I just feel like the static is so strong still. It's just grabbing everything, even though you can't see. But little by little, whatever is still out there. Because if you like leave it on your turntable, even with the cover on, for a couple hours, you'll notice it's grabbed some more shit somehow. Well, obviously, static electricity probably. But so yeah, throw it back in the damn case immediately. It should be a habit, and most of the veterans have this habit. I'm sure most of the new people that are, and like I did it with most, but a little disappointed in myself on some of the records I pull out. I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm like, well, gosh, definitely, got to give this thing a little clean over. Luckily, I can just wipe these off and they're clean. It's not like I have to give them a deep cleansing. Some though I do want to give a deep cleansing. I don't even have a record cleaner. I want to get one of the low budget ones that you just spin yourself into the little tray that holds or the little cartridge thing that holds the solution. So anyways, all right, trying to keep this under 20 minutes because all my videos now are like going way too long. This John Coltrane, you can never go wrong with John Coltrane. He's amazing. Live in Seattle. Well, I've been listening to it live in Vanguard. I even ordered a copy a while back. Still waiting on it. But I've been listening to it on YouTube. This is a lot different than a performance. It's like part of it is like that, and then a lot of it is just doing crazy, out of control improvisation, unpredictable, just straight. A lot of feeling. It's like you have to definitely be in the mood for it, but when you're in the mood for it, it's just one of those things where you just have to let it play and accept it. Don't there's gonna be a few parts that are like, oh wow, we're really going off the deep end here. But if you just keep listening to it, I listened to it once and I enjoyed it, but I was like, oh, it was intense. So I was like, I gotta be ready for this. So I put it on the next day, and wow, he does a great job of going from super intense to where probably some people in the crowd are like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? These guys are way out there right now. But then he reels you back in and plays some very melodic, a little more predictable. But it's super. So and then it's back to just madness again. So it's like a mixture. But that being said, this album is super stony. So if you see it, I highly recommend it. Soup it up. And for some reason, they didn't. It's in great condition. The case has a little bit of wear from just pulling in and out. But whoever had this kept it in very good condition. It has the original sleeves. It has a red Impulse on here label. And it's cool. It's cool to see the other stuff that was on. Well, ABC's promoting their other records they had out, but the James Gang, Three Dog Night, A Portrait of Ray, Pharoah Sanders, Jewel of Thought. Either way, John Lee Hooker, Life at the Cafe, A Go Go. Oh man, so yeah, some just cool. Maybe some albums that I've never, heard of, but. Super cool, the original sleeves and everything, but Oh, wait, should we mention who's on here? So when I got it, I was like, oh, John Coltrane, don't even know. Obviously he's going to have, and like I said, it's John Coltrane featuring Pharoah Sanders. So make sure I say that, because Pharoah Sanders is a beast also. But, I just seen John Coltrane, I just jumped the gun. Well, then you look inside, and I kind of tripped out because, it's got John Coltrane and Pharoah Sanders on saxophones, and it's got McCoy Tyner on piano. So I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? We all love McCoy Tyner. Donald Garrett on bass and clarinet, Jimmy Garrison on bass, Elvin Jones on drums. Just a beast of a lineup. So I don't know why this record's not worth more. I'm thankful it's not. I'm sure maybe like a one in mint, if with a better case, it probably would have been a little more pricey. But maybe I'm thinking this one's kind of not as expensive because it's so out there compared to the other John Coltrane stuff. I don't, I'm not 100% sure, but um, if you have it and you know more about it, don't comment. And last but not least, I got this. This was the one where I just was like looking for some easy like ECM stuff. I was just looking for anything good. And most of the ECM stuff, I know there's some stuff out there that might, be everybody's type of cup of tea or whatnot. But most of the stuff I get from them from like their 74 to like 83 seems like I enjoy it. Well, this one's 73, like really in the beginning, early. And this one is really good. Totally different than like what everyone else that was doing like the jazz fusion vibe stuff. This dude's kind of all over the place. But it's got a bunch of musicians I'd never heard of. But Robin Kenyatta is a beast. And this album is super good. And this one was not expensive, but it wasn't cheap. You know what I mean? And so that's what had me intrigued about it. So when I listened to it, I was like, oh gosh, yeah, I gotta swoop it up. And it's definitely, ECM didn't even have their logo on here. It just said it, but it says ECM. It doesn't have their logo like they have on their later ones, like that one. But and it says Polydor on the front because I think, what is ECM a subsidiary of Polydor? I'm gonna have to go on Google and read up. But anyways, this is really good. Totally different vibe than, John Coltrane's like intense, tons of emotion. This is not so intense. Lots of emotion, lots of feels, but it's just trippy. It's you could not even put them in the same book at all, really. But it's just like it's crazy how all music just has so much different types of feeling. Like listen to like a lot of the punk that I used to listen to when I was a teenager. This one song by Youth Brigade. I should know the name of it. I was just listening to it. I listened to it twice in a row. It was one of those songs that came out in 1999. I remember listening to the song when I was a teenager, and I remember thinking, because the lyrics are kind of him looking back, and he's at 90, that dude's older than I am, so 99. I think he's probably at least in his 30s when he wrote that. So, anyways, but I remember thinking when I get old, like I already related to those. Like I enjoyed the lyrics, but the lyrics are more like older person looking back. And so I was like, oh, someday I'm gonna be like an older person, reading that same fucking lyrics, and like, yeah, I wonder. I was like, how am I gonna feel when I read it once? Kind of looking from the perspective that he wrote that song. Always interesting. So when that happens, I'm always like, oh, it's pretty trippy because when you have that moment and then you finally connected, you finally are having that moment that you thought about like 20 years ago. So that's cool. I remember when I was like working at this AM radio station, I was a board operator in Monterey, California, right on Cannery Row. It was super cool. It was in the brothel that's in the book Cannery Row. Like, it was a real brothel. So you go upstairs and it's just these long hallways with all these real small rooms that have their own bathroom, like all the way down, real like tiny, tiny rooms. And then the back was like these. It was like the master bedroom of the lady who ran the place, and that's where like all, the room with the control board and everything. And then across there was the room with the big glass. We had the glass windows and be controlling stuff and the microphones in the room. And then all the commercials are played on 8-track. It's pretty interesting how they do it. You got a sheet of all the commercials of what times they need to go on. It's pretty basic. They have all the little 8-track fucking about probably like 6 of them. I want to say maybe 4 or 6 of them. Anyways, you just plug them all in order to what the times are. When the times come on, you fade out one, and you hit your shit and fade it in. It's cool though. It was a great job. But on being in Monterey, on Cannery Row, I was listening to one of the other guys that worked there brought in Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, sorry, on CD. And he had just gotten a really good set of headphones. And this guy's passed away now. But he was like, tell me, man, a good set of headphones fucking blow your mind. And like, I was like, well, fuck, let's try them out. So I took Dark Side of the Moon and I put on Time and listened to it with the headphones. And I already heard that song a bunch of times, but I thought it would just be a good song to test out these headphones. And now my episode's going way too long here. But I was like, I was 16 years old at the time. So he's like, one day you find that 10 years have got behind you. I remember thinking, fuck, you know what I mean? Someday I'll be like 26. And I remember thinking at 16, 26 was like over the hill. Like you were just you were washed up at 26. Don't worry, I'm 40 now. I don't feel so much the same. But so I'm listening to it. I was like, oh, someday I'll be 26 listening to fucking Time and I'll trip out. Because, I'll be over the hill, just fucking divorced. I've never been married in my life, and I don't actually believe in marriage. But so when that happened, I remember I was finally 26, listening to Dark Side of the Moon, and I was like, whoa, 10 years. It's interesting. Yeah. Like I always talk about time. Let's get on it. If you live to be 80, it's 29,200 days. And this is like, I've always been like, like I would just tally up. I remember when I was a little kid, I'll probably only see this person. If I live to be this age or they live to be this age, I would see this person this many times in a lifetime. I'm the only one that does that? Or you guys do the same thing? So yeah, like I said, it's around 42 million minutes. I could be off on that, but pretty sure that's what it is. I don't know. Someone who's better at math can do it for me. So anyways, let's just close on. So now I always go in these weird, I don't know what it's not philosophy because I took philosophy and that shit was so fucking stupid. Oh my gosh. Nothing against people who love philosophy and there's some great philosopher writers out there, but like, is a tree really here? You can say a tree is here. You just like slap the fucking back of their head with their fucking nose. Doesn't hit the tree hard, but it just makes it bleed. And you're like, I think the tree is there. Your fucking nose is bleeding. Is it blood? Is it really blood? There's more to philosophy than that. But the damn teacher we had in the class, I don't want to be a hypocrite here, but he never put down the mug. Like, I even one time was like I think he went to bed holding his fucking mug. Hello, you talk philosophy. He had this weird fucking permagrin on his face. Maybe because some secret to life he knew that he was never going to tell us. But, in that same classroom, a different teacher. I remember one time there was this teacher and she wore like one of those big onesies. Not like a onesie, not like a onesie, like PJs. Not one of those. Like teachers, older ladies wear like those it's like just a glorified long t-shirt. Like a gown or whatever. And she was an English teacher. Not a bad English teacher. She was a little strange. She always had a real serious look on her face. And then one time she's doing her lecture or whatever, and like she's trying to make a point. This is real. And she looks, and she just farts. Fucking rips one in this fucking onesie, giant long shirt, basically. And I'm like, so that's like, like pants and underwear. That's like that's your fart mask. That's what keeps your fucking fart particles in there. You know what I mean? But I was thinking, she's wearing a onesie, the fart. So I was kind of, I like to hear what's going on, but I wasn't front row, but I was, so like, and then she kind of turned around and gave us her back. To like ignore, because she didn't want to like, we all heard it, but I already was like, fucking God, I plugged through on goggles, I didn't want pink eye, fucking, but, we all walked out like, did you, like, You know what I mean? She fucking crop dusted the whole classroom. And like, maybe it was a power thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? When you're younger, you have your friends have sleepover. Like the first kid falls asleep, one of the kids will run over, fucking just rip a fart right on his head. You're like, oh, everyone's laughing. It's a power move. You know what I mean? So and so just dominated so and so. You know what I mean? That kid goes home. Oh, how'd it go? Fucking Johnny farted on my head. They all laughed. But fucking we all watched Ninja Turtles though and forgot about it. That was a power move. She fucking crop dusted the whole class and just kind of looked us in the eye like we did it. She gave us the Bill Clinton stare and then fucking turned around. Fucking where the fart hole's at and just like fucking said deal with it. Yeah, true story. I might have to share more of these true stories. And I don't know how I segued from vinyl to a teacher's crop dusting the class with a power move, but that's where life leads you sometimes. To an old lady crop dusting a whole classroom of kids. You know what I mean? And I wish we would have had a mask back then. That would have, you know what I mean? I would have probably fucking been like, hey, if you're taking so-and-so's class, mask up. For real. Oh, and goggles too, because you don't want pink eye. All right. That was a coffee burp. That means I'm 100% ready for the day. I see people, you know what I mean? It's weird about compromise, and I don't, just do whatever you like. I see, it's always weird. I'm not married, and I see my friends that are. They just always look so broken. What do they say? What is, most men live in quiet desperation? Gosh. Who said that? Oh, gosh, I'm going to forget. Somebody good. It wasn't Kerouac, but it was... Oh. It was what's his face? Oh, the one guy who isolated himself out in the woods for a long time. Oh gosh, why am I gonna forget this guy? Jeez. Oh yeah, Henry David Thoreau. That's who said that fucking quote. Henry David Thoreau. Yeah, that's like what married men look like to me. And nothing against marriage. I fucking, shit's awesome for people who want it. You know what I mean? Some of my best friends are having the best times of their lives being married, and they don't look broken at all. They have a big shit-eating grin because they have their best friend right by their side. But there are some homies that are just like, you know what I mean? You even just trying to have a drink with your homie, and then it's like, fucking, and they're like, you know what I mean? Oh, gosh, you know what I mean? Yeah, bro, come over to my pad. You don't have to hear that shit. All right, waiting on a positive note. Play lots of vinyl. Stay positive. If you got a naggy wife, I'm sure you deserve it. Yeah, she would listen to your weird nag. It all goes back and forth. So yeah, hang in there. And go on long walks, meditate, help other people out. See a homeless person, don't give them $1. Throw a $100 bill. Tell them, I want you to get that full 8-ball. I want you to be able to fucking shoot up some good stuff tonight, and possibly even have a beer and a drink with that. People are like, no, that's not what you give them the money for. And well, if they're cozy for the night, so fucking chill out. Man, give them $200. Fucking just give them $1,000, so you don't go big time. See what you're gonna do with this. Yeah, it's crazy. They say 96 kids die of starvation a day in America. So that means technically there's a dollar menu. That means technically I could go get 96 cheeseburgers, and if I could find those kids, I could save all their lives. But you can't. But it's weird that there's people hungry with a fucking dollar menu. Ponder on that one. I could just keep going for days. I swear it's horrible. And like I say, not horrible like You know what I mean? It's just horrible for everyone else, not so much horrible for me. It doesn't help that I drink 3 cups of coffee either, and I was up till 5 a.m. anyways. But I got a good sleep in, you know what I mean? All right, we're just going to run this to 40 minutes. No way. Later, guys. See you next time. Bye.